So I'm going to show you how you can print and cut these pull tabs just as is. If you don't want to change the words or anything, it'd be just real simple in Cricut Design Space. You'd bring it in, and I've already uploaded it and placed it in. And when you upload it like this, it'll be a grouped item on the right here. So on the right, you'll see this. All you've got to do is hit flatten down here. So I'm going to actually copy this really quick because I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to go duplicate, right click and duplicate, and then I'm going to go ahead and hide this version. So there's a copy of it. So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and select it. If you want to print and cut it as is without changing colors, there's a couple things you can do to change colors. So if you want to change colors, you can come up here and change colors like that. Same thing with Celebrate. If you wanted to change the colors, you could change them up here. So basically that's all you can do, which is nice, and you can even change the background color of this if you wanted to. You kind of would have to know what your colors are, right? I'm just going to go extreme here. So like that. So if you wanted colors, you could just use it as is, but no matter what, if you don't change colors, you just click on it, and then on the lower right hand corner, or I think you can right click too, flatten. And then when you go to make it, I'm just going to save as pull panels, double sliders. And then you'll see it's right here. It'll be ready to print and cut. And on the left, it'll say print and cut. So I'm going to cancel out of that. So I started with the fresh copy, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I pulled this in again, and I have a copy that's hidden still. So if you want to change the words, there are some sizing that you need to do. So when you push this pull tab down, you won't be able to see the words on it. And also you want to be able to see the image that comes up from the double pull. So in order to do that, what we want to do is, let's just say we're going to do this for a print and cut. So I want to change the words. We have a copy of it, so that's good. So what we don't want to do is create a shape. It's going to be a rectangle, but we're going to just do a square. Let's go ahead and say, let's go ahead and unlock it. Proportions. Let's make it 5 by 0.6. I'm going to change this color just so it's easier to see. And I'm going to put it right here. And I haven't ungrouped this at all yet. So I'm going to go and highlight both and align it to the top. So the text should be about 0.6 inches from the top. So the text shouldn't really go above that. So I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this. So the top one's going to tell you how far down, and the bottom one's going to give you kind of like the thickness of what your width can be generally. So there's a given, with some of the cards it's a little bit different. So I kind of base this general, so you probably want to test it because you have a little flexibility where you're going to put that image on the top slider. So I'm going to go ahead and I used a shortcut, Control left bracket, to move it backwards. So it's like this, Control left bracket, send backwards. So here I'm actually going to also send backwards. So now I have a copy of it. So here's the critical things. You don't want to move anything. I'm going to go ungroup. And then we have this. So I'm just going to delete it. So I want to add something new. So I'm going to go to text over here. And it defaults to Cricut Sans, but you can use any text. But I'm just going to, for the demonstration here, I'll do this way. So I'm going to just say birthday wishes. I'm going to arrange this, bring forward. And we want the words to basically fit in those boxes centered. So that would work right there. So you could go a little higher if you wanted to. I say higher is just generally better, but if you wanted to do that, you can. So once you settle on what you want, you just as long as it's within this box a little bit. So it's basically 0.6 inches from the top of this curved area here of the pull tab, and then, or pull panel, whatever you want to call it. And about the word should be in about 0.6 inches of space. So we're just going to do a simple one. You can go up a little higher, or you could go down if you wanted to. So even too, if you wanted to curve it, you could curve it. And just as long as you're within that area, let's say you wanted to curve it a little bit more, and it goes a little bit below, you could just size it. Once you find out what you like, we can go ahead. I'm just going to hide these and then highlight all this, making sure you're not moving pull or anything. And then we can go align, center horizontally. And then you can go ahead and select everything and say flatten. So then you go make, and that's it. So we'll go on to if you want to use a pen to draw. So here we are with a fresh copy again. So right here, if I want to do pen, let's say you don't have, you have the ability to use a pen, but you don't have a printer, you could use a pen in the machine. And there's a simple way to do it. If you wanted to come in here, and we haven't changed anything, but we'll still use these. If you just wanted to do it, let's go ahead and hide those really quick. I'm just going to group them, and then I'm going to hide them. So if you just wanted to use a pen, you could use what I have there, but it's not really a writing font. So if you want to do that, though, you can expand over here, or you can just go ahead and ungroup. That might be easier. And click that. And I'm holding the Shift key to select both the pull and the celebrate. And you'll see on the right, they're both selected. And you can make those pen. So that's how it'll do it. So it won't fill it in. So if that's what you wanted to do, you could do that. But, and then once you change it to pen, you don't flatten it, because flatten's for print and cut. You want to highlight everything and attach. So when you go to make it, it'll say pen and basic cut. So it'll ask for the pen first to do celebrate and pull, and then you don't have to put the blade in, but then it'll cut it. So I reset. So here's if you want to change the words again, same thing. You just have to pay attention to this pull, because if you want this only to use pens and not a combination of print and cut, you'll have to change both pull and celebrate. So let's say you want to change that. You would just ungroup, delete both, because let's say you just want a true writing font that you pay for in Cricut. Click on text, and I'm just going to use the writing font for Cricut Sans, which is the free font. So I'm going to do pull. And you could do pretty much the same steps in other machines too. And remember too, you can do things like increase spacing. So if you wanted pull to be bigger but further away. And then let's just go ahead and do another text. And this way down here go ahead and move it up. So you could do that. So you can see, I can see where I need to be on this, and I'm within that. You could do that, but even if you wanted to do 2 now, so you could make it a little bit bigger if you wanted to, meaning another line. Happy birthday to you. The key is it has to fit within there. So there's so many things you could do. But one last thing. Let me go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to just duplicate this. And don't be afraid of adding 2 different variations. So something like that. Happy birthday to you. So we'd have to pull this down a little bit. And the reason I would do something like this, I'll show you right now. Let's say curve. Gotta be careful not to move that. And you could do something like this. Happy birthday to you. And just adjust how you, if you use the birthday cake one, where the balloons hit. So, and then when you're done, just make sure that you highlight everything, align, and center horizontally. That's a little bit close, so let's go ahead and do that. So you just need to tweak it. I'm giving you the basics, and then go ahead and you can right click also to attach. Remember, flatten would be print and cut only. So it would say print to cut if you flattened. So right here, you'll double check to make sure you have the right one when you click make. And on the left-hand side, you'll see pen and basic cut and no print to cut. So you wouldn't need a printer for that. So I hope that helps. So you can change the sentiments on there and mix and match between cards.